If you're an American e-commerce brand and you're looking at expanding the business, you're potentially looking across the pond to the UK and thinking maybe I can expand over there. But you've got that question in the back of your mind. Is it worth it? Does it make sense? Is the juice worth the squeeze? Well, in this video, we're going to cover the juice, we're going to cover the squeeze, and then you guys can make your mind up and decide whether it makes sense to you or not. Let's get into it. So, you're an American e-commerce brand, you're looking at the UK as a viable option. Is the juice worth the squeeze? Fantastic question, and one we should all ask every time we're doing something new. Let's look at the juice. I've portrayed lemon juice in this case. Fantastic with a martini or lemonade with a bit of sugar. So, the UK e-commerce market is one of the largest in Europe, valued at about 260 billion as of 2024. It's growing mainly due to convenience. UK shoppers want deliveries at home. They don't necessarily want to queue in the store. They don't want to drive to places to go buy buy products. Generally, if they know what they want and it's put in front of them, they will make that decision and that purchasing decision on the spot. In terms of competition, they have options. It gives optionality to a lot of Brits. GDP of the UK is roughly the size of California. We do have roughly 70 million people living in the UK. A lot of them are affluent consumers. It's quite a prestigious market to get into. We do have a high GDP per capita and a strong purchasing power, roughly $43,000 per capita. Now, that's not necessarily high compared to like the US or some countries in Europe, but we do have a lower cost of living than a lot of places. It gives us a lot of disposable income. Brits like to go on holiday, Brits like to buy things, and consumers in the UK are willing to spend more money on quality products, and they're more receptive to premium brands. And Brits view American products as premium brands. The point is the UK market is separate to the EU, but I'll cover that in a moment. Obviously, we speak English in the UK, so that eliminates the language barrier. It helps to simplify the marketing aspect of it, the customer service, also content creation, and it also helps you maintain consistent brand messaging. In the UK, we do have a very well-developed digital infrastructure, 5G. Everyone's on their phones all the time. So therefore, you can easily target people, get them to buy things, get them to, it's easy with one-click purchase. People will buy. We do have a very well put together logistics network. It's a small island. You can get from one side to the other pretty quickly. So on the fulfillment side of things, it makes things easier. So yeah, marketing strategies and product offerings can be easily adapted. There is a similar behavior between the UK and the US in terms of purchasing. We do appreciate American brands, especially those associated with innovation and quality. I'll repeat this again, but we do view American brands as premium and flexible payment options. If you offer that, cards, PayPal, Klarna, all that good stuff, we know how to pay. So I touched on this point earlier on, the fact that the UK is different to the EU. The EU is its own single market. They buy and sell products internally. Generally, France, Germany, big industrial bases over there. They create a lot of products. They manufacture a lot. And whereas in the UK, we're kind of a little bit separate. Obviously, we're not part of the EU anymore, but we do look to the US for innovation and new products. So whereas EU will associate themselves together, we associate ourselves more with the US, and we're very early adopters of technology and new products that come across from the US. But on a separate note, in terms of strategic positioning, it's a fantastic gateway into Europe. A lot of countries choose to go through the UK to get into Europe. You've got the Channel Tunnel. You've got ferry system, which is very well developed between and Calais in France. So yeah, it's easy expansion into Europe if you need to. The dreaded squeeze. In the UK market, it's highly competitive. There are dominant players, Amazon, ASOS, John Lewis. However, they're not necessarily selling their own brands. They are selling other people's brands. But there is another video that I created about the difference between having your own transatlantic brand and going through Amazon. Amazon, obviously, you're dealing with their audience. Likewise for ASOS and John Lewis. However, Amazon is the most dominant one in this space. And obviously, differentiating your brand in a saturated market can be challenging. That's pretty universal. However, there is an asterisk next to that, and you have one advantage. I'll cover that later on. You have to adopt regulatory compliance, GDPR, which is the protection of data. Thing is very similar to the CCPA, but consumer rights, consumer contracts, regulations, ASA for your advertising guidelines. But by and large, if you're a good brand, you follow the rules, you have an honest offering, and you're not crazy with your ads, you will do very well in the UK and you won't have to worry about this. And obviously you have to look after people's data, right? Efficient supply chain, you need to have a reliable logistics network. In the UK, you need to get it set up. Timely deliveries, of course. People in the UK expect fast delivery because it's such a small island. So yeah, we do expect fast delivery. Returns, likewise, UK consumers do have expectations on returns. They want it to be easy and hassle-free. Now, despite us having similarities between Americans and Brits, there are some cultural nuances that stand out, mainly around references, humor, values. If you take The Office UK and The Office USA, for example, in terms of humor, it's very much different. American humor is a lot more in your face, a lot more upbeat, whereas British humor is a lot more subtle. It's a lot drier, more sarcastic. And you can obviously see the difference between how we behave. But by and large, there are a lot of similarities when it comes to purchasing. Obviously, you've got a currency exchange risk. We deal in pounds in the UK. We don't work in dollars or euros. So you do have that exchange risk. Obviously, VAT, registering, managing VAT compliance just adds an extra little layer of financial complexity. If you've got a good team, it doesn't matter. But it's just something there. It's something to take into consideration. Adapting marketing campaigns to resonate with UK audiences. Obviously, that is pretty much universal, regardless of where you're targeting. If you're targeting an audience in the US, it's going to be the same kind of thing. That's why I put an asterisk there. SEO, PPC, paid ads, influencer partnerships, that will be absolutely essential to cracking the UK. And of course, obviously, upfront costs, expenses, marketing, logistics, legal compliance, setting up a local office, etc. That is pretty much, without being said, that is obvious. You're going into a new market, you've got to get things set up and ready. It's not free. So therefore you do have those expenses to cover. So is the juice worth the squeeze? Well, let's summarize it, and then you can. Is it worth it? Well, the UK market has a high ROI potential. It's a large and affluent market. You can mitigate a lot of the upfront costs that we mentioned. If you use technology well, you've got an effective supply chain, efficient, and you use targeted marketing. Obviously, if you've got a brand and you're running ads and you're getting customer reviews out in the US, you can use those and leverage those in the UK as well. Enhanced brand reputation. You've got a foothold in the US, you've got a foothold in the UK, you're a transatlantic brand, you're now a global brand, and it can allow you to expand further and therefore increase your potential exit value should you decide to exit the business. Also, it diversifies your revenue stream, reduces your dependence on the US market, and actually spreads the business risk as opposed to keeping all your eggs in one basket. Now, we did touch earlier on you have an advantage. Why do you have an advantage? Well, you're an American brand. You already stand out in the UK market because Brits want to buy your products if they're good, right? We look to America for innovation, fantastic products, American products on a pedestal above the rest. And you already stand out. Your brand is already differentiated in the market. So if you're an American e-commerce brand, you're looking overseas, you're thinking, is the juice worth the squeeze? Maybe you go away from this video, you think about it, and you look at, are you ready to expand? Are you potentially ready to tap into the UK market? If you are, then we've put together the Excalibur method. We use a 3-pillar system where we create your UK entity for you. We manage your VAT, we manage your bookkeeping so that you can offset a lot of your expenses against VAT. We manage your marketing as well so that we can convert your US marketing and tailor a message that hits home with British audiences. And also third part is logistics and supply. So we leverage our network of trusted suppliers, get your products into British homes, get them buying, and get them leaving reviews as well so that people can continue buying from you. So if that's something that interests you, click on the link in the description, book a call with me, and let's see if this is a good fit for you.